Today I was in a poor neighborhood looking at cheap houses under 100,000. I shopped at the Dollar Tree. I had to get some batteries, and I was looking in the food aisle. And I said to myself, wow, I could get a meal here for a couple dollars. Not a healthy one per se, but a meal. And I thought about for a minute my day, spending time in a poor neighborhood, shopping in a store where most poor people shop. I live in my car. I have for 4 years. I own nothing other than a couple shirts and shorts. Technically, I am living like a poor person. However, I'm not poor, and it's given me an interesting observation of life. In the United States of America, you are considered poor or living in poverty if you make less than $1,000 a month. Good to see you, Tony, on the live chat. Shout out to Canada. Canada's still getting $2,000 a month with the coronavirus. Tony, Sammy's been you've been dealing with toxicity all day to see a good all day. Good to see a good person. It's good to see you, Tony. Hang in there, man. Toxic people will destroy your life. A toxic environment. You know, when I was in a poor neighborhood today, I'll upload a video tomorrow probably about the home I was looking at. It was a house for $69,000. You know, a poor neighborhood many times has a bad energy. Okay. I had some great friends in a poor neighborhood. There's some great people in a poor neighborhood. But the energy is bad. And I thought about that for a minute. I thought about my life. I thought about I've been in rich neighborhoods. I've been in poor neighborhoods. I've been in middle-class neighborhoods. I grew up in a middle-class neighborhood, but it's very diverse. And I had several friends that were poor. I spent several times in different areas for long periods of time. And it's true, too, when I go in rich areas, I feel like it's sometimes a little bit too uptight. So it's a weird thing. And as I was stating, in the United States of America, if you make less than $1,000 a month, you're in poverty. Okay, so that's about $12,000 a year. I've shared that if you do ride sharing full time and if you put hustle into it, you can make more than $1,000 a month. You could probably make a couple probably like $2,000-$3,000 a month. I also think about I've worked with people that have made six figures, over $100,000 per year, and they're poor. Why are they poor? Because they have great salary. If you make, the average salary in the United States of America is $50,000 per year. And, if you're making six figures, 100,000 or over, you could still be poor because you're not, even though you're probably, making, $6,000 a month or so take home. If you have a mortgage, if you have a couple cars, if you have a couple kids, you're probably lucky to clear a couple $100 at the end of paying all your expenses. So technically you have a lot of stuff, but you're poor. Now, poverty is financial. It's also mindset. Because when you spend time in poor neighborhoods and you see someone pushing a baby stroller and there's no baby in it, there's either a service dog or a bunch of stuff that you don't want to know, you're in a bad neighborhood, man. Let me tell you something, and I got family is like this. I hate to say it. But guys, if you're in a neighborhood and people are pushing baby strollers and there's no baby in it, there's other shit. It's just a whole nother level of, it's a mindset. Okay. Now, I don't want to oversimplify because poverty is not just a mindset. It's a society responsibility. I do believe that we're all connected, even though I hate that. I do believe that certain people just don't have the mental capacity to do certain things. Like I listened to someone call up Dave Ramsey and they were doing ride sharing. And she seemed like she was a hardworking person trying to do the best she can. And she was working, not lazy. And she was making more than $1,000 a month, not in poverty. But the mind just wasn't there. But it's like almost like Alzheimer's. I remember like Alzheimer's is a disease that old people get where they can't remember things and they're not conscious of things. And I remember someone telling me, well, maybe God designs Alzheimer's Because when you're old and you can't take care of yourself and someone else has to take care of you, maybe you don't want to remember that. Like when you're a baby, do you really want to remember your circumcision? Do you really want to remember some of the things that happened to you as a baby? You don't. So I don't know. And I'm not justifying, obviously, things being bad in the earth. But I thought that was interesting perspective. I think poverty in America is luxury in some other parts of the world. $1 US is like $30 in Thai currency. So if you had $1,000 in American currency, and if you went to Thailand, that's $30,000. So a lot of Americans go overseas, Philippines, Thailand, other places, and they retire there with in America, which is considered very little money, but overseas, it's a lot of money. But in those countries, the whole country is in poverty. There's no middle class. Okay. Great people. I've met great people that are from the Philippines, from other parts of the world, but they're living in poverty. Okay. And poverty for them is not having running water at all and living in a hut. Now, I don't have running water. I live in a car. So, but America, I don't know. I go in Starbucks, get running water. I go in the gym, I get running water. A lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is infrastructure. But I'd say I wouldn't want to live in a car in a bad neighborhood. Even though I know some people down in Florida right now doing it. Bad neighborhood. They stay there. I remember I asked them, I said, why do you stay in this badass neighborhood? You live in a car, you can go anywhere. They don't want to leave their friends, what they know. They don't feel comfortable in other neighborhoods. Poverty is a real thing. Jesus said the poor will always be among you. Poverty has nothing to do with character. There can be people of great character that are poor, but there can also be people of bad character that are poor. Poverty is just a financial state, but it's also a mind state. It's also a way of life. Shopping at the Dollar Tree versus shopping at Whole Foods is a different feel. But I'll be honest with you, I like some things at the Dollar Tree. Well, I don't know. I don't really buy shit. I went to the Dollar Tree today. You know what? I got some tacks. I had to try to put up my headlining in my car has been falling down. I was going to tack it up. I just cut it because the tacks didn't work. I wasted $1. But I looked at some potato chips. They were like $1, but there was too much sodium. How much sodium should you have per day? No more than 1,300 milligrams. No more than 2,300 milligrams. Why is that important? Because I've been obese and I want to take care of my health. See, a lot of times when you're in poverty, you're not looking at the nutritional value. I've been there. I had a poverty mindset with regards to health. Okay, I grew up on fast food for the most part, and I was thankful for that. You want to eat fast food when you're young, not when you're middle-aged. But what I could tell you is this. You're going to go through a lot of things in life. Maybe you'll be born poor. Maybe you'll make a lot of money, but you'll be poor technically because you don't net profit money at the end of the month. You got just enough to pay your bills. You're like 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That includes people making $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $50,000. 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You can say America is the wealthiest country in the world, but you can also say most of Americans live in poverty. Because even though poverty statistic is that you make less than $1,000 a month, even if you make $6,000 a month, if after you pay all your bills, you only got $200 at the end of the month in savings, like as far as clearing, you're you're not in poverty because you got a house, you got cars, but you also don't have much extra cash flow. Cash flow is the difference, but also mindset. I was in a nice, rich area also today, and the guy behind the counter, there was something in his mind that wasn't clicking. And I've been there in life. I think some part of life is something in your mind doesn't click. And sometimes in life, a light bulb comes off. Someone says something, or you go through enough experience. I look at some of the things I did a few years ago. I said, wow, something just wasn't clicking in my mind. I was making real wild decisions. But I may look back and say the same thing now, but we do mature. But what I want to share in this live feed is that poverty is a lifestyle. Poverty is a reality. Poverty should be addressed. Some of poverty you can never address because it's just a certain mindset. I have family members in poverty as we speak. And what I could tell you is I live in poverty, but I'm not poor financially. I'm not poor with a mindset. But I'm not better or worse than anyone. I'm not saying it to say that. I'm saying this is an observation. Because I don't look at poor people like bad people. I don't look at rich people like good people, and vice versa. Because again, poverty or wealth is not a determination of character. But I look at life and I just find it interesting. Do I want to spend time in poor neighborhoods? No. Why? Because there tends to be more crime. There tends to be worse mental health. There tends to be less resources. So all those things factor up to a toxic environment. Okay. Now, some people, to be honest, feel more comfortable in a toxic environment. I dated a couple girls. They didn't feel good unless you treat them like shit. And I said, I got to get out of this relationship because I don't want to treat people like shit. Okay. And if I don't treat her like shit, she going to go find someone in a broken down Honda Civic that treat her like shit. Guys and girls, never date someone that doesn't have self-worth. Why? They will make you treat them like they don't have self-worth. And if you do that, you lose your own self-worth. Oh, that's a bonus. That's a bonus for you tonight. I hope you got that one. I don't care if you're rich or poor. I'm trying to tell you right now, that matters what I just said there. Yeah, so Tony, I feel you. And yeah, Chaz, good to see you, brother. I'm about to read you. Chaz, thank you for everything, man. Last month, you've been gracious to me. Edith, I miss you. Edith, I was by Vero Beach today. I'm going to do a video about that. Thank you, Chaz, for everything. I appreciate you. Edith, Tony, two Tonys. So we got the one from Canada and the one from Maryland. I want to read the live comments. I appreciate you guys and girls. I like to start the live feeds always the first 15 minutes or so, giving you what I'm feeling in my soul from my life experience. Today, I was in a poor neighborhood, shopped in a poor neighborhood. I live in my car. I'll sleep in a parking lot tonight. I'll sleep in a parking lot tonight. I've done that for 4 years. Amongst other homeless people sometimes RVers, sometimes no one, sometimes in campgrounds, sometimes in a, like I say, in a parking lot in the street. I'm not poor, but I live an odd life. I live like a poor person. I probably got more cash flow now than I did when I had a house in some instances. What's the end goal? To have money in the bank? I don't know. To me, the end goal for my lifestyle is to control more of my life, but to live, not to exist, until I find something better. And if you don't find something better, stay flexible. Because if you have flexibility, you shouldn't have to stay in a poor neighborhood. I think about that. I thought about that when I drive through the poor neighborhood. I said, there's some homeless people here. They have a car. They live in a van. I said, I wonder why they don't just start that van and go a half hour away from here. There's very nice areas to be homeless. Because I was in a nice area and there was homeless people there. Like you know, they leave the park when they're supposed to leave. They stay in their van. So there's respectful homeless people. Or nomads. There's some, there's a difference. But a big part of it is people just don't want to leave. Like Chaz talking about he left New Jersey. No, how hard it was for me to leave New Jersey. I hate New Jersey. We don't want to leave because we have a poor mindset. We have a scared mindset. I was scared. I made videos my whole way leaving New Jersey. I was scared. If you don't separate from people, from environments, if you don't take some calculated risk, like I said, don't worry about the coronavirus. Worry about every day you get closer to death. Every day you're aging. Every day you have to move. You have to get uncomfortable. Okay. You have to go explore. And you got to pay attention to your life, not just with economics, but with economics, but with a mindset, with a standard, okay, with a knowledge, reading the back of food labels. There were some potato chips in the Dollar Tree. They had acceptable levels of sodium. But if I didn't read the food labels, I would have ate the barbecue spicy chips that I wanted. One of the biggest things that helped me losing weight, or at least being healthier, was reading the food labels and understanding the daily recommended amount. Now, you still go over the amount, but you have to read sodium, sugar, not just calories. Why? It's your health. Again, there's so many people that have been messaging me that they're scared of the coronavirus or the lockdowns, but they're not eating healthy today. They're not. So guys, fuck it. Go to Starbucks and go lick everyone's face. Why? Because if you ate too much sodium today, if you ate from the dollar menu at Wendy's, guess what? You're killing yourself. If you're keeping toxic people in your life, guess what? Go tell Donald Trump to cough in your face because you already got something worse than the coronavirus. You got a poor mindset. If you're shopping aimlessly through Walmart and you're technically in poverty and you really don't need anything, you got a poor mindset. I've had a poor mindset. I've been fortunate in life. Like I said, I grew up middle class. We could have been in poverty after my parents got divorced if my mom didn't have a small inheritance. So I recognize that. I recognize that in life, it's not just your work ethic, even though my mom worked minimum wage jobs, 3 of them, to raise 3 kids. You also need some grace of God. You need some luck. You could be born anywhere in any circumstance. But like I always often tell you, you got to get out of that circumstance once you got to smack the shit out of yourself. And I don't know, there's a light switch that goes off for some people, not for others. And I don't judge, but I observe. I don't judge, but I have to make a decision. Where do I want to stay? Where do I want to live? Where do I want to shop? And there's nothing to do, well, I'm not going to say nothing. It's not just economics. It's energy. It's a mindset. It's a vibe. I live like a poor person. I don't want poor relationships. I don't want poor health. I'm in a parking lot right now. Cops are driving by. I would say right now I'm in a middle-class neighborhood. Today I was in a poor, wealthy, and middle-class neighborhood. All within one day. All within an hour and a half of each other. That's how different the world is. And those are my thoughts tonight. I'm going to take a hydration break. Thank you to all my members. Gratitude and appreciation. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. We'll go to members only live chat. If you'd like to be a member, click that blue join button. Thank you for your support, love. Tony again. Good to see you, brother. Shout out to Canada. I'm a Tony G. Well, we got 2 Tony G's. We got Tony Guerrera from Canada and Tony Gilbert. So I'm gonna Tony Gilbert. I'm gonna say Gilbert. Tony Gilbert. Sammy. Yeah, you've been dealing with toxic people. What I could tell you, man, is got to get away from them. No doubt about that. Good job. Chaz, New Jersey strong. Appreciate you. He goes, I left New Jersey and now in Las Vegas. Oh, man, you went to the desert, bro? But if you're from there, stay on the east. I left Arizona a year ago and I don't miss it. Well, I love you, Chaz, and I appreciate all you did. I'm glad that you got out of New Jersey before the winter. And I give you a lot of credit because I know it's not easy. Just like we were sharing, I loved your comment where you say, Sam, I've been back in New Jersey visiting family for a couple months and I actually start to like New Jersey again. I'm actually getting comfortable in my family's house again. And you got to be careful when you get too comfortable. I'm glad that you pushed yourself. Now, I don't like Arizona. I don't like Las Vegas. To me, Las Vegas, Arizona, same thing. Why? It's desert. I love you. I hate the desert. Okay. Why? Because I like water. I like it moist. And, but I love you, brother. Again, I always tell you guys, what's the difference between the Southwest part of the country, Arizona, Phoenix, New Mexico, versus Southeast, Florida? Guys, water. So do you like water or do you like desert? 2 different environments. So I like water, but I love you, Chaz. Tony Gilbert, I'm definitely moving west soon. Well, yeah, you're about to go to a desert, man. I love you, Tony Gilbert. Follow your dreams. Keep playing your saxophone. We appreciate and love you, Chaz. Be careful, Tony. Life is ridiculous out west. Yeah, you ain't catching me out west. Let me tell you something, guys. You ain't going to catch me in Atlanta, Nancy Pelosi. Not because I'm mad at her, but just because I don't even like the west coast of Florida. Okay? So, guys, I'm East guy for life. I'm East Coast. Edith. The West is great for nomads. No, not for me. Why? Guys, I don't want to be in a desert. I don't care if there's a Bureau of Land Management free camping. What I've learned is, guys, if it's free, it sucks. Okay. There's free camping in Florida. It's called the Water Management District. And so, but I love Edith. Edith is from Florida, Vero Beach. She moved to the Pacific Northwest. She goes, the West is great for nomads. I disagree, because there is a ton of BLM, that stands for Bureau of Land Management, and National Forest Land. Now, that is true, though. She's right. Look, if you wanted to be a boondocker and if you like the environment of, if you like the West Coast environment, then it's something to consider, because, yeah, there's more boondocking. I don't like boondocking. I like to be around people. I actually feel more unsafe being in the middle of nowhere than I do in a Walmart parking lot. Why? I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, look, there's so many cameras and people around. If someone's going to do something, like, it's less likely, in my opinion. Anything can happen anywhere. But, I mean, I feel more scared in the middle of nowhere in a desert camping, and like Bob Wells is in his van and you don't know what's going on. But love to you, Edith. Great to see you. Chas. Edith, yeah. But you have to deal with the West Coast nonsense that comes with it. Well, there's nonsense everywhere. Like I say, guys, I went to the wealthiest neighborhoods in Florida today and some of the poorest, all within an hour of each other. So take it with a grain of salt. Oh, hold on a sec, guys. I ain't poor. I got a $5 super chat. Oh, gringo. Just listen, because I'm at work driving. Well, drive safe, brother. Shout out to everyone, guys. If you're debating on whether or not to get an RV, keep your SUV, or make sure you keep a regular car. Why? Don't eliminate DoorDash, Instacart, or Uber. You'll never be poor. You may not be rich, but you'll never be in poverty. Oh, gringo. Just listen, because I'm at work driving. Solo security patrol. It's the laziest job you can get. You say inspirational nomad. I am lazy as shit. What should I do? I keep telling you, I did a video about top 3 lazy jobs. The number 1 lazy job in America is be a security officer. You know what? Are you part of Securitas? You got the Securitas thing, woo on top. I knew a guy worked Securitas. He worked his way up to the corporate world. You can work your way up, but you can also work the night shift and watch Netflix all night, ride around the van, or just monitor a desk, and then during the day sleep in a public park as a nomad. That's true. Here's a nickel for your efforts. Damn it, I appreciate that. My money bag is slowly getting better. Well, if you keep working consistently, you'll never be in poverty. If you did DoorDash consistently, you'd never be in poverty. See, some people say, Sam, I tried DoorDash, but it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you don't do it consistently. Or maybe you're not cut out for that. Then maybe you should work at Planet Fitness. We got a member, Stretch. He works at Planet Fitness, make $18 an hour. Okay. And Home Depot. So nothing works if you don't work consistently. A corporate job, you making $100,000 a year, it won't work if you don't show up. Okay. I know people that basically didn't show up. They got laid off. Why? Because they weren't reliable. So your money bag will grow if you show up. And then you got to keep your expenses low and don't have kids. And if you do have kids, don't have any more. And keep your house costs down. And never buy a house in a poor neighborhood. Why? Ain't worth it. Rent until you can afford middle class or nomad. Good job. Guys, we're on fire. Damn it. Let's continue to read. Edith, I'm sorry. She goes, I had a disease in which the more, wow. She goes, I had a disease which in the more money I made, the more I thought I had to buy and spend and felt poor as a result. I'd be rich. I would have lived more simply. Well, I've been there. I mean, I think it's a good comment, Edith. I think it's human nature to live in excess. It's divine nature to discipline yourself. Human nature is unchecked. And unless you check it with self-control, you'll be out of control. One of the scriptures that I liked in the Bible, it said, self-control leads to godliness. Okay. Now, I don't say that in a religious way, and I think we all miss the mark. I think we all need grace. None of us are in control 100% of the time. We all fail. I failed this week. I fail. We overeat, we overspend, or we make mistakes. So there's grace, but there is it's good to have a goal. Like I tell you, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. So good comment, Edith, and I totally understand what you'd be saying. So we can't live in the past. Got to look forward now. You got a good career selling cars. Your child's getting grown, so you're going to move on with your next chapter of your life. Very proud of you. Upscale, living full-time in his Class C in South Florida. I did a video today. Well, no, I did a video today, but I'll upload it later this week about a $38,000 Class C for sale, 4 years old with 30,000 miles. So what I can tell you is this: if you're a YouTuber, make some videos and then bank them and then have one ready to upload every day. Why? Because YouTube is like a job. If you don't show up consistently, it doesn't work. Upscale. Drove down to Homestead, Florida. That's too far south. I believe that's further south than Miami. I don't like to go that far south. He drove down in his Class C, a lot of gas money there, to Homestead, Florida. I think there's a lot of poor people in Homestead, Florida. This weekend, staying at a Walmart, and it's 100% RV car dweller friendly. Would you say Homestead, Florida is a poor area? I picked some fresh veggies, good, and got fruit at the farms here, good, off Chrome Avenue. Don't know the area. Homestead's poor. Oh, you answered the question. Good job. Upscale's giving us the report straight from the streets. Chaz. I love you, Sam. Well, I love you too. It's mutual appreciation, respect, and gratitude. So I'm very proud of you for pushing yourself to get out of your comfort zone. That's what you have to do. If you just don't want to live a poor life, one of the key things, no matter what life you choose to live, is you have to push yourself a little bit outside your comfort zone. And that's what you did. Thumbs up. Upscale. Also got some free-range chicken. Chick cuts. Homestead is mad poor. Okay, that makes sense. But for those South Americans around here, bust ass even when it starts raining. Now I hear that. I got a great friend I know. He migrated up here from Uruguay, which is in South America. Worked his way all the way up. He's making great money now. But he got married once. He's got child support, and he got wife back up with a girl with 3 kids. He's doing a second renovation. So even though he's making great money, he's living in poverty. That's true. I love him. Shout out to you if you're listening. I love you, but you're killing yourself. Tony Gilbert. I'm not worried. Family has land out west. I hear you, Tony. Just remember, when you park on family property, just treat it like a national park or a campground. Don't stay more than 14 consecutive days. Why? I don't know, man. It just gets too much of entanglement. Tony Gilbert. I can drive to my aunt's house in Yakima, I don't know that area, in 2.5 days. 2.5 days, okay. Well, Tony Gilbert, you keep pushing forward to your best life, brother. We love and appreciate you. Gail Arnold, you're up to 454 subscribers. Why? Because you're uploading consistently. Keep going. Gail, make several videos when you have a moment of inspiration. Upload them throughout the week. Why? Because you're going to creativity comes in waves. So when you have an idea, either write it down or do the video immediately, but try not to upload more than 1 or 2 videos per day and just spread them out consistently over the week. That'll keep your flow. Gail Arnold, in the 40s, Gail is full-time living in her Toyota RAV SUV in Massachusetts. We're in the middle of November 2020. It's starting to get cold weather. She goes, in the mid 40s now, going down to 25 degrees. Brr, time to go. It's still good sleeping weather. It's not too bad to sleep in that weather, especially when you have your thermal sleeping bag. But the bad part is you can't really enjoy the day. You have to be bundled up, and that's when you get sick. When you leave your car and you go into the gym, you have to bundle up, and then when you sweat in the gym, you have to make sure you bundle back up when you come back to your car. And that's when it gets you. I want to be in tank tops and flip-flops every day, all year round. I want endless summer. 4 seasons suck, and I'll tell you this. Look, could you get the coronavirus if you travel? Yeah. But guys, you could also waste your life. There's a balance. I don't want to preach irresponsibility because the coronavirus is real. Herman Cain died. Donald Trump got sick. So I don't think it's like, this fake thing. However, look, 500,000 people die a year in car accidents. 200,000 people have died so far with the coronavirus. So have people stopped driving? And part of the reason they're doing the lockdowns and what they learned when we did the 1.5-month lockdown in early this year was that the hospitals don't get overwhelmed because there's not as many car and motorcycle accidents. So really, the real saving grace when you have a lockdown, it's not that you really majorly stop people from dying from the coronavirus. It's you stop people from coming to the emergency room for car accidents and motorcycle accidents. However, if you really wanted to save the most people, you would say you can't drive a motorcycle anymore and you can't drive a car because that kills a lot of people every year, 500,000 people a year. So I don't want anyone to be irresponsible. There's a real thing out there. But life is a real risk. Driving is a real, so you got to just remember it. And I always say, look, if I was in New Jersey, I wouldn't be doing anything different. I don't go to bars. I don't go to restaurants. I go to the gym. I did that in New Jersey. And I social distance the rest of the day. I'm an introvert. So for me, it's just a risk worth taking. But anything can happen. I'm humble in that. Oh, Gringo, thank you again, brother. You keep working, showing up at your job. Again, guys, I know, and girls, if you're lazy, be a security officer and be a night shift one. Why? Because then you can live in your car in the day. You can go to a public park and sleep, or you could have a side hustle and do Uber. So there's a lot of ways out of poverty. It's true, but you got to break the mindset, and you got to have your health. Got to take care of your health, and you got to have the grace of God. You got to have all those things. Tony Gilbert, I like the cold. I hate the cold. I love you though. Tony Gilbert, he lives in Baltimore, Maryland area. He goes, it's hunting season now. I don't like hunting. I think hopefully we've evolved past that. And I do eat meat from time to time. At one point, I went total vegetarian, total vegan or whatever. But, you know, I mainly have a plant-based diet. I eat seafood. So, you know, I don't know, man. I don't like hunting, though. You know, a lot of times hunting, too, if you're not going to eat the animal, if you don't need to hunt, I just feel it's an inhumane way to kill the animal. But I know some of the chicken farms and stuff, they're inhumane. So, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of hunting. But I hear you, brother. Tony Guerrera from Canada. I like the fall and winter. Well, I like the fall in September and October to visit up north to get out of the worst part of Florida, which is September and October, the height of hurricane season, height of humidity. But other than that, visit up north. I hate the fall and winter weather. But I love you, Tony. You're a good man. You're in the right spot. Because if you live in Canada and you like the cold, you're winning. And you got universal health care, and you're getting $2,000 a month in the coronavirus stimulus. So you're doing great, man. Upscale. Camo Dave said that basically the nomads he covers that are normally out west are all mad and miserable. Well, my experience in life, nomads and people living in a house, the majority of people are miserable. So I think the majority of people are unhappy, even in America. Even rich people, even middle-class people, not just poor people, I think most people are miserable. I think there's some great people. I think I think a lot of people are trying their best. I try my best sometimes not to. I mean, if I really wasn't pushing myself, I could easily just slide into misery. If I stayed in New Jersey, I'd be miserable. I had to push myself. How do you get out of poverty? You got to push. You got to push yourself. Oh, Gringo, damn it, the $5 super chat again. I'm getting out of poverty. He goes, child support just ended. Praise the Lord. The number one expense you'll have in life is having a child. The one thing that is linked to poverty is excessive amount of children. Why? Because they're the most expensive thing you can do. Oh, Gringo. Child support just ended. I had a vasectomy. Praise the Lord. Double win. Never marry again. Triple win. Car payment is done. Quadruple win. May 2021. Oh, Gringo. Fire emoji. Why? You just changed your life. You just broke poverty. How? By taking care of your responsibility, learning from your mistakes, continuing to work, and having goals and a vision for a better life. That's how you break poverty. Good job. You did it. Oh, Gringo, love to you, man. I love you. Thank you for the gracious tip. Tony Gilbert also said, Tony Gilbert said, nah, Sam, the hunt primal, it will never go away. Well, I don't want to say that, but I understand your mindset. Human nature is primitive and tribal, but I believe humans can change. They've shown it throughout history. It takes sometimes generations, and it takes education. Lack of education and lack of reform in society can escalate and feed into the poverty in society. I do believe part of the reason America has less poverty than most other parts of the world, okay, whether it's China, Afghanistan, Africa, is because there are certain social programs that give a level of opportunity. Like I say, no one will ever starve to death in America. Why? Because if worst case scenario, if you were totally broke and couldn't work, you're on food stamps. I got family members on it. However, when I go see my family members pushing a baby cart with no baby in it and having food stamps, the environment sucks, but they feel comfortable in it. So I don't know. Like I used to, like I'll look at the environment and I say, damn, I don't feel good in this environment. But they actually I don't know, man. They're miserable either way. Like, I got a family member, they could stay in a suburban house and they can live with someone and they can have everything given to them, but they're miserable. And then they can go into subsidized housing into a bad neighborhood with a bunch of drug addicts and mentally ill, and they're miserable. So they're miserable no matter where they go. So I don't know, man. It's like, that's the wild part about life, that if you get experience, it's crazy. Tony Gilbert says the same with fishing. Tony, there are a lot of people do like fishing. That's true. I heard fish, though, don't have certain nerve windings to their brain and they don't feel pain. I don't know if that's true or not, though. Tony Gilbert, I have enough salmon in my freezer to last next year. Well, I do like salmon. I like coconut shrimp, too. I had some today, I ain't gonna lie. Old Gringo, thank you again. Our beautiful Edith. My employer demands you quarantine if you are at least a bit suspicious. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, how many times did I work in an office and someone would come in sick? So, I agree with that. And I came in sick a few times. Or at least be suspicious of having a symptom, even vaguely related to COVID. You could have food poisoning and be sent home and test negative. Well, look, I agree with that. But what I can tell you is that we're going to get past this only one way, through herd immunity and vaccine and time. And it may be with us forever. Because there's, even with a vaccine, when it's ready for mass people, are you going to mandate people have vaccine? People in America, they'll never, most people not going to take it. At least not initially. You'd have to force them. And then, let's say you force people to do it. How do you know? Like, you'd have to hunt 350 million people down. It's impossible. So, because there's undocumented people here, and even the people that are documented, you can't find everyone. There's not enough police officers. There's not enough National Guard. So, I heard from the beginning, 80% of U.S. population, if not world population, is going to get the coronavirus. But most people are not going to get sick. The people who do get sick, very few will go to the hospital, and even fewer will die. The only issue with this virus is we're trying to keep the hospitals from becoming overflowing. However, what really causes hospitals to overflow is motorcycle and car accidents. Pearl, $9.99 super chat. You get me out of poverty tonight. Been loving your videos. Thank you for the appreciation. Keep it up. God bless. Thank you for that encouragement, Pearl. I appreciate that. $9.99. Thank you, Pearl. Very much appreciated. Damn it. Thank you also, Old Gringo. Appreciate it. Thank you to all my members. Appreciate it. Edith, good to see you back again. I hope you're doing well. Love to you guys. Tony Gilbert. Some fish do feel pain, but it's rare. Yeah, I read that. I was interested about that. Well, guys, look, those are my thoughts tonight. Tony Gilbert. I humanely kill my kills no matter what. Well, that's good. You have to be responsible. Yeah, it's a tough thing, man. You yank a fish out of the water and then you take a knife and you slit his throat. Is that humane? Well, they say they don't feel it. I don't know. Scout, Sam, if you have a potential medical scare, should you broadcast it on YouTube? Interesting. And to make that matter more personal, cry about it. Well, I've done both. I've been sick and I've broadcast it on YouTube. And I've cried about it. Now, with regards to Casey Roman, if that's who you're talking about, that's her prerogative. So one is I wish her well. I don't wish anyone ill. But let's see what happens. Because one is I think she's caught in the medical system, which is in America, they test you because they test you with all these tests because they want the money. Okay. And then what you're going to find out is there's no cure for cancer. Okay. So, guys, even if you're diagnosed with cancer, guess what? There's no cure. Okay, Steve Jobs didn't have a cure, so you can treat it. I dated a girl that had cancer in her what do they call it in your vagina or whatever, uterus cancer or whatever, and she went through all the chemo, all the procedures. 5 years. After 5 years, they claim that you're a survivor. You've beat it. She died on the 7th year. There's no cure for cancer, so why should you get chemo? In my opinion, you should only get chemo or an operation or cut out, because you could cut, if you get breast cancer, you could chop off your breast and it's still years later seep into other parts of your body. So why would you want to spend 2-3 years in a hospital going through chemo, going through all that trauma? Because I saw her video, she's going through trauma just getting tested. So to me, everyone's different, okay? And the main thing is, what is your pain levels and what is your age and how is your quality of life? Unless you're suffering and you're young and you think you can change quality of life, for the most part, I say, if you can, stay out of the medical healthcare system because it's a corporate profit system. Now, if you're suffering and the healthcare system can help you, then by all means utilize it. Definitely be informed. Definitely respect medicine, respect science. But what I'm trying to tell you is, I know people that got knee surgery replacements and they made their life harder than it needed to be. Okay, I know people that went through a lot of medical procedures for a peace of mind, and what they did was wasted years of their life, and they still ended up dying from the disease. I had a grandmother on my mother's side. She had cancer. She had a lump on her head. And as soon as she went into surgery and they cut her, it spread even worse. And her quality of life was shit. There's no exact science to life. But what I'm trying to tell you is, when you're a YouTuber, your number one sacrifice is privacy. However, your number one reward is sharing your private life, connecting with others, and you are rewarded. And that's the reason why Casey's not in poverty, because she's got a YouTube account and Patreons. Because let me tell you something, she ain't selling that many houses. She ain't even selling. And she doesn't show up consistently. She got fired from her, she even said she got fired from her other job when she was a broadcast journalist. So she would be in poverty if it wasn't for YouTube. So should she share her personal shit? Yeah, because without that, she in poverty. So what I could tell her is keep sharing that personal shit. Why? Because even if, God forbid, you die of cancer, you damn sure don't want to die of poverty. So what I tell you guys, when you ain't got no other option, strip. Okay, that's what I tell you. Have I dated some strippers? Yeah. Okay. Do I judge them? No. Because what's the difference between someone who strips and someone who doesn't work? A stripper got money. Okay. Yeah, let's continue to read. Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina. Sabrina had the coronavirus. She's high risk. She's about 50 years old. She survived. She lost taste buds for a while. I think she had it back. Sabrina, they may not make the vaccine mandatory, but if you don't take it, you may get denied a job or maybe even benefits. It's possible. I had to take vaccines to go to public school. So it's possible to happen. But what I could tell you is there's some people that get homeschooling, and that would take, for them to mandate the vaccine and then hunt people down to enforce it. Like right now, mandatory, you have to have car insurance. There's a lot of people in Florida, they don't have car insurance. So that's why car insurance is so high. So there's a lot of things that are mandatory, but people don't do. So yes, making it mandatory is possible, because again, it's mandatory to go to public school. You got to have a vaccine for the measles, chickenpox, or whatever, and I got them. But what I could tell you is it would take years to pass laws to enforce that, and then it would take more years to actually get the officers to enforce it, or the military. So guys, this is going to be forever. So what should you do? Follow the Healthline guidelines, manage your risk, but life is risky. Life is, what they do when they had polio, guys, life is risky. But that's a good comment, Sabrina. Love you. Great to see you tonight. Tony Gilbert. It's all about money for doctors. Yeah, it's true. There's some great doctors, and they go to a lot of schools, so I'm not going to say they're bad, but the healthcare system, just like every system, is about money. However, if that wasn't the case, and everyone was just on the barter and trade, for you to get medical services, you would have to barter and trade. So, in America, you can't get denied for healthcare. If you get hurt and you go to the emergency room, they have to service you, even if you're an illegal alien. That's a mandated law. And that's why Mitt Romney originally came up with Obamacare, with the idea of mandating insurance. Why? Because a lot of homeless and poor people would wait until they get sick, then go to the emergency room, because by law, you cannot deny someone emergency medical care in America. And then they wouldn't pay the bill at the hospital. Then other people would have to subsidize the cost that the hospital would incur, and that's why we pay higher insurance. It's the same principle as car insurance. If we didn't mandate people have car insurance, then there's certain people that don't have it, and that causes other people to supplement their rates, just like in Florida. Florida has the highest car insurance because we got the most uninsured drivers here, amongst other things. But, it's the number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills, and that's why it's a game. But look, if you're really broke, it's part of life. But self-care is the best health care. But when you need medical assistance, go for it, because there's nothing shameful about it. Tony Gilbert. All right. Cameron. What's up, man? Shout out to Kansas. My first night in the car, Sam. Well, congratulations. It's scary. It's scary. The first night, it's scary the first month. After the second month, if you keep showing up, then it will get better. You'll have times you'll want to quit, just like being a YouTuber. There's times I want to quit, but you got to have a goal. You got to have a routine. What's the number one thing you need to live in your car? You have to wake up early. You have to be productive. Don't take naps. Go to the gym, shower regularly, and then go to sleep on time. And then do the same thing. Your routine is your biggest backbone foundation of this lifestyle. The other thing, okay, is that you need to set up a perimeter. You need to go and know, you need to be within 15 to 20 minutes of a Planet Fitness, of a public park that has electrical outlets, of a rest area or truck stop, okay, and of a Starbucks. Keep your perimeter everywhere you go so that you can move around every couple hours. Don't stay parked for more than a couple hours. Why? They can't hit a moving target, and you don't want to be loitering. What is loitering? When you stay past the acceptable time in one area, it's against the law. And some townships enforce that law. It's mandated. Let's continue. Upscale. I hear you. Love to you, brother. Tony, Cameron, good luck. Wish you much success. Tony Gilbert, good man. Tony Gilbert, yo, hobo. You actually a hobo? Upscale. In a Class C. Tony Gilbert, I used to be in Frata. Cameron, thanks. Cameron, and finally made it to Denver. Well, shout out to Denver. DoorDash or get a great job. I think you went to Denver. Cameron left Kansas, which has high poverty rates, and he went to Denver, which has better job opportunities. What does every poor town or city have in common? Lack of economic opportunities. So what should you do? Start your car and go. Period. Good job. Cameron, is there a time limit for rest stops? In some, yes. My first time I got a knock on my door from a police officer was in New Jersey, because the rest stop was open 24 hours, but the convenience store at the rest stop closed at midnight. And technically in New Jersey, the rest stop, you can only stay there for 3 hours. And so he said, well, there's not too many people around. So he asked for my ID. He ran my plates, and he goes, no problem. You're just sleeping. I see that now. He goes, but we check out if we see someone here that, it's past 3 hours or whatever. And he was just checking to see if I was doing drugs or if I was doing something harmful. So keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Oh, Gringo, $2 super chat. Piss poor planning prevents positive performance. Well, oh, Gringo, fire emoji and appreciation emoji to you. Because what I could tell you is you need to plan, you need to research, you need to stay positive, and you need to keep it moving. Good job, old Gringo. Thumbs up. Thank you, man. Gail Arnold. Cameron, stay safe and stay blessed. You can do it. Amen. Gangster Talk, $5 super chat. Sam, what do you think of the Million Mega March? I never heard of that. What's the Million Mega March? Let me Google it. Million Mega? I never heard of that. Million Mega March. What does that mean? Million? People gonna give away $1 million? Million Mega March. I'm searching right now on my laptop. Oh, Trump, it's a Trump Magna rally? Oh, I didn't even know. Guys, I don't watch the news that much. So what do I think about it? Well, one is the people who support Donald Trump, they have a right to protest, just like the people who protested on the liberal side, okay, against Donald Trump. Because when Donald Trump got arrested, guys, there were protesters in front of Trump Tower. And there was protesters in the summer against a variety of issues. So I am for the right to protest, whether it's taking a knee during the national anthem or whether it's, protesting Nancy Pelosi or protesting Donald Trump. Now, obviously, whether it was protest over the summer or protest now, I don't believe in violence. Violence happens when people feel like their voice isn't being heard. Now, sometimes violence is stirred up through malicious powers to be, whether it's foreign entities or internal entities. But I believe in the right to protest. So I'm going to stand with that right, whether they're someone supporting Donald Trump or a Trumper, or whether they're supporting a liberal or a liberal cause. So it's the violence on both sides that I don't support. And I think there's always going to be protests. That's part of life. Look, there was protest in Hong Kong over a year ago. And then would we tell China? We told China, let those people in Hong Kong protest, Remember? And remember LeBron James kept his mouth shut? You know, LeBron James, he was like, oh, we should be able to protest here. And then when Hong Kong is, well, I don't know. That's their country. I don't want to mess up their sovereignty. Hey, guys, look. People have the right to protest. Now, protests become violent. Why? Because there's some agitators. There's some people that feel like their voice isn't being heard. And unless people get hurt, people won't pay attention. So it's a sticky thing, and there's no clear answer. But in general terms, I support the right to protest. And that includes those who want to support Donald Trump or whatever. So that's my thoughts. Upscale. Hobos used to ride the rails to jobs. I didn't know that. I ride a 2017 Class C 24 feet sunglass face emoji. I'm going to upload a video this week of a 24-foot Class C for $38,000. Got 30,000 miles on it. It's in Florida. Upscale. Trump out January. Bo, he lost. That's true. Just remember, there were riots under Obama. There was riots under Trump. There'll be riots under Biden. But I feel there'll be less, and the country will be healthier. Why? Because Biden strikes a better tone. However, no president's perfect. Biden ain't perfect. And if he don't do the job good, vote his ass out in 4 years. Cameron, Sam, you forgot you have to be within 15 minutes of a massage parlor. No, I didn't forget that. I don't go to a massage parlor. Why? Because I masturbate myself, and I keep that $50 I put in my pocket. I did a live feed video from Jupiter, Florida last year when Bob Kraft, the billionaire owner of the New England Patriots, got caught getting a blowjob for $100. What happened to him? Nothing. Why? Because he's a billionaire. He hired lawyers and fought the Jupiter Police Department and won. What happened to the Asian massage ladies who immigrated from China? They lost their job. They got deported. Where do we live? We live in America, where if you're a billionaire, you could pay for a blowjob and get away from it. But if you give a blowjob and you're middle class, you end up deported. So what I can tell you is this, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Gangster Talk. Thank you, Old Gringo, for several super chats. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you to all my members. Tony G from Canada, Tony Gilbert from Maryland, Chaz from New Jersey, now in Las Vegas. I'm proud of you for moving. Edith, our beautiful viewer, I love to you. So proud of all that you've done with your life. Thank you for sharing some good comments. Upscale, my man living full-time in his Class C, South Florida. It's possible. And Cameron, man, first night living in his car in Denver. He got the hell out of Kansas. Good job. Sabrina, she is our member that survived the coronavirus, has a loving heart, been a long-time member, and I thank you. And Gail Arnold, she's going to be the next YouTube star. Okay, she's almost up to 1,000 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to her channel, do it. Why? Support her. She's doing the best she can. Thank you for watching. Love to you. Have an awesome night. I'll see you tomorrow. God willing. God bless.